Hi, thanks for checking out the video. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Hello friends and students. Let's study the song. Okay, this piece is in the concert key of C minor in the meter of 4/4. Now you can see that I have the capo at the fret number 3. So I'm going to refer to all these chords now relative to the capo. Alright, so we're going to only need 4 basic chords that most of us already know, and that would be A minor, C, G, and then D minor. Or let me finger it this way, yes, that's better. Okay, now I might later talk about different versions of these chords or hitting specific strings within these chords, but just keep it simple to begin. So we have these basic chords: A minor, C, G, and D minor. That makes measure 1 and 2. So let's put the basic chords together, measure 1 and 2, playing 2 chords per measure, which means, well, you'll play a chord on beat number 1 and then another chord on beat number 3. So I will demonstrate and you will see what I am talking about. 1, 2, ready, listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what we can do is begin to add the strum pattern. It's always good to know how to play the strum pattern with just your hands, without your instrument, just to have some clarity and some real well-defined sense of the rhythm without the notes and the chords and the strings and all those distractions. So the basic strum pattern is also best demonstrated with a metronome of some kind, right? So today I'm going to count and demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And now some of us are confused by that, but let me now apply that rhythm to those 4 basic chords that we just played. Okay, with this we will call the strum pattern. So before it sounded like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I will apply the strum pattern. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we can talk a little bit more about this strum pattern. Well, one thing is, with my right hand, I'm using all downstrokes. So I'm going to count to 4 and play this just a couple times in a row with muted strings, just so you can see what my right hand is doing. Get rid of some of that glare. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And now, so that's all downstrokes in my way of strumming. Another thing worth mentioning quickly is there's not really a prominent role for the guitar in the chord playing in that song that I can hear. So what you can do is make a guitar adaptation to the piece, right, based on what the piano is doing, or the bass player, or the background parts, and that's how we come up with the chords. Now, having said that, let's talk about playing a little bit more, targeting specific voicings within these chords. So let's see. I'm going to focus mostly on string 4, 3, and 2. Okay, with my strumming, or my, as the case may be, with my picking if you're using the hand. So I'm talking about targeting specific strings within the chords rather than playing the whole chord. You can go ahead and play the whole chord if you like, but what I'm doing is based on listening to the original recording and seeing what chords fit very well, either by matching the top voice with the piano player or by playing a voice that doesn't clunk or get in the way. In other words, it might be a harmonized note, but it fits very nicely with the original recording. So now what I'm going to do is play just string 4, 3, and 2 using those same basic chords and the strum pattern. Okay, and you will see now the song has somewhat evolved. It's going to sound hopefully more like the original recording. We started with the basic chords in block, flash fashion. Then we added the strum pattern, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now we're going to target certain voices within the chord, so it should, as I say, evolve. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, and one other thing I did in that particular example is I played the G chord. Well, you can imagine if here's something worth noting. If we're playing just strings 4, 3, and 2, when the G chord comes, you don't need the left hand at all. So that's an important point, being that when you are targeting specific voices within a chord, such as C, and you're only trying to hit string 4, 3, 2, and excuse me, that was right, 4, 3, and 2. You don't need to hold down string 5. If you're not going to play it, don't bother with it, right? In some cases, most cases. Okay, so what I was going to mention is when the G chord, you could play the open 3 strings, and that will represent a G. I happen to have put in my 4th finger on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret, making it a G5, just because I remember that fitting along in very nicely. Okay, the other thing is, for example, now we come to this D minor. As I'm saying, we're targeting string 4, 3, and 2, so you don't necessarily need to hold string 1. And the chord at that point technically becomes a D5. But that's just a little detail. So we discussed measure 1 and 2 with the 4 basic chords. Then we talked about adding a strum pattern. Then we talked about targeting specific strings within the chord. By the way, you don't need to play with your fingers. You can target string 4, 3, and 2 with the pick just as well. Yes, okay. Now, let's go on and apply the same way of thinking to measure 3 and 4. It's the exact same strum pattern, exact same chords, exact same kind of targeting, but in this case, we're going to play the chords in a different order. And this time it goes A minor in measure 3, G, again it might prefer that G5, and then C. So if I'm doing C and we're in measure 4 now and you're targeting, you don't need to hold the 5th string necessarily. You can just target string 4, 3, and 2. And then D minor, or as the case may be, D5. Oops, it's a little clunky there. Okay, so now let's put measure 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together with the strum pattern and the targeting of strings. I'll do it the first time with the pick, excuse me, and then the second time with the right hand picking. Okay, counting to 4, we'll make a demonstration in slow motion. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was with a pick. And as I mentioned, you might try that G5 in place of G. Okay, but the G is a fine simple chord if you know it some other way. Now I believe I'm just going to do the same thing, picking it with my right hand. So in this case we'll use the thumb, index, and middle finger of the right hand. So we know P, I, M, and apply that to string 4, 3, and 2. And as I said, when the G comes, try G5. Alright, so here we go. Same thing with the fingers, right hand style. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is how we would play the chords on guitar to go with the song. So if you'd like to learn more of the song, you can always look at the sheet music or the tablature for reviewing or learning more of the song. Okay, so with these items, I hope you will have the tools to study well and have fun.